Hey everyone, welcome to Friday.
What's up? It is Friday.
Again.
I was on my computer.
Friday.
Just a week ago.
Hello.
So Jay is away on a romantic weekend with his wife this weekend, so he is not here.
And that's our story, and we're sticking with it.
Has nothing to do with his epic meltdown last week. Just a coincidence.
It's not time out.
It was one for
How are
the
you
ages.
guys doing?
It was good streaming. Good.
Very
Happy
well. Thank
it's
you.
Friday.
Yes.
Oh, but we do have a quiz, everybody. So don't
You do
worry.
have
Yes,
a
we
quiz
got a
today.
quiz.
And it'll work, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's the important part.
And to replace Jay, we figured it would take 3 people to replace Jay.
Oh,
So here
we'll
we
bring
let's
out
bring him
one
in.
one at a time. Here we go.
Okay.
Coming
All right.
from wherever that he comes from,
Parts
Adam,
unknown.
parts unknown. We have the
Adam.
mod extraordinaire. Don't piss him off. Jatil. I keep saying it wrong. And then
Jatil.
also Earthen.
Hey guys, how you doing?
And
Doing
What's
great.
up?
Good.
hey guys.
Dennis,
Happy to be here
thanks for joining us.
for sure.
Why don't you give the audience just a quick 30-second intros to who you guys are. Start
right.
with
Yes.
Earthen.
All right. So I've been listening to this show for 10 years now. I'm in California. I originally got into science through a combination of this podcast and doing microbiology work at a food testing lab. And I just, from there, I just kept getting more into science. And this podcast really reinforced the importance of critical thinking and science communication. And so it's been just a big part of my life now. And now I live in the woods. I left the lab scene. I'm the resident hermit in the Discord, basically. I'm up in the mountains in Southern California. And I'm just here enjoying life.
Out there?
Yeah. I work on site, and I manage a big property, and that's going to be my career for my foreseeable future because I'm really happy here, and it's the best.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Kjetil. I live in Norway, in Bergen. I'm one of the mods, as you said, on the Discord. Day to day, I work with IT. I basically write PowerShell for living. So So I
Nice.
like to,
PowerShell rocks.
yeah, I like to automate stuff so I don't have to do them myself.
Right? Isn't that just so rewarding?
Yeah.
I totally suck at it, but I still love it.
Yeah, well, I've been doing it for 10 years now, so I'm starting to get a hang of it. So,
You suck at it less than Bob.
yeah,
Well, yeah, a lot less, I'm sure.
we can have a
Yeah.
PowerShell.
What time is it in Norway?
It's 11 o'clock.
11 p.m. That's not
PM?
too bad.
Yeah. Oh, it's decent.
We've had worse.
Yeah.
We've had people, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning for
Oh
them.
gosh, yeah.
Suck it up. Adam, how about you?
Adam, what's up?
Yeah, I'm Adam. I'm the Chief Security Officer for the Energy Sciences Network and used to be at the National Center for Supercomputing Applications. So been in the security field and IT for 20 years or so. Got into the Skeptics Guide, I think, when I met you guys at TAM 6, was it? The Flamingo. So
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
2007, 8, 7.
8.
yeah, it's been a while.
Was that
And
right before the South Point?
yes, right before the South Point.
Was it right?
Oh,
before?
okay. Then it was, it was
Yeah.
a little later than that, maybe 9 or 10.
So you guys are all proper nerds, basically.
Oh, yeah,
no
That's
denials
accurate,
there.
yeah.
Be ready to prove it. I mean,
Yeah. So I have a show and tell for today.
Oh,
oh, excellent.
Any of you guys see it?
full screen. Let's full
Let's
screen.
see.
You?
It came? Your sword came?
Oh, samurai sword.
Which way is it?
S
Let's
words?
get it backwards.
Yes, your
Right.
left hand, correct.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Come
Wow.
on,
You guys
grab
wanna
it.
get
What
a
are you
close
talking
look?
about?
Yes.
No, I'm good. I'm good. That's fine.
Are you gonna is he gonna hold up a piece of paper and do the the slice
it-
test? Is that how that works?
Pull a hair from your wife's head and slice
All
it in
right.
two in midair.
This is the result of about 6 months of research.
Oh, wow.
Is it a Hattori Hanzo?
I made a replica sword. Actually, used to have a couple of those cheaply built.
Don't trip.
Yeah,
somebody's
so-
fist.
Yeah.
But my goal was I wanted to find
Damn.
out what is the best katana I could buy within my budget.
All right, everybody
Um,
settle in. Just settle in.
Settle in.
Mhm.
This will
All
be
right,
in
go,
just a few
Steve.
minutes. So, if you want to get one from Japan, which of course have the best ones in the world because they developed it as a deep part of their culture. The starting price for a newly constructed katana, is at least $10,000. Probably you're going to spend 15.
That's
at
for
the
handmade,
minimum.
right?
Yeah. This is for a master weaponsmith and his team constructing a katana. It takes about a year to do that. The polishing process itself is about 3 months, just for people to polish, the
Damn.
blade. So it's a major industry, in Japan, and they can only make so many per year because they want to make sure that they're not no one's mass producing them. Like everyone can only make, I think, like 6 katana, and
Does yours have a serial number?
this is not from Japan because I don't have that kind of money. So as I said, within my budget, I quickly
That's
figured out I
enough,
could not afford a katana from Japan. That would
So
be
it's
a
from
much
New,
longer.
New Jersey, right?
That would be a much
Toledo,
longer
Spain,
conversation
maybe.
with my wife. That's not going to happen anytime soon.
After the second book comes out, maybe.
Well, this
Yes.
is this. I bought this with money from my advance on the second book. Maybe the third one.
See, you see this mug? I bought this from my advance from the second one.
So you're saying
So-
it's a Tony Hanzo, not Hattori? Forget it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, right.
I'll
right,
mute
right.
myself.
Yes, you
Go
will.
ahead, Steve.
Anyway, so I did a lot of research to find out what the best one I could get was. I was outside of Japan. This is what I came up with, and it cost $1,100, which is still it's kind of pretty much in the sweet spot. Beyond this, you're not getting any more quality, really. I mean, then it's more the reputation and whatever. But if you spend less than that, like you could spend $600 to $800 and get a decent katana, but it's not really going to be great quality. And then anything less than that is basically crap.
Put it on the wall and forget about it.
So
Yeah.
when we're talking about quality, we're talking
Yeah.
about
Quality.
aesthetic quality.
No, not just
No.
aesthetic quality.
I mean,
So
you're not going to use that to do anything with it. are
well, the
you?
But
thing
you
is,
could.
of course not. I'm not going to. No,
Well,
I'm
right.
not going to kill anybody with this sword. This is a work of art. But swords are functional art. Part of their aesthetic appeal comes from the fact that it's a functional object, and the design elements, which are artistic, have a functional purpose. So let's open this guy up. As you can see, like, so here is the guard, the suba as they call it. Obviously, it's functional. In order to use it, you need to have a guard, but it's obviously a very artistic, design.
Yeah.
Here's the kabaki or the habaki, which is, this piece right here is made so that it fits cleanly into the scabbard, but it becomes another artistic design piece. The wrap is iconic, right?
Yeah, look at that.
This is ray skin, like stingray skin underneath,
Really?
and then silk wrap over it. I chose the brown over black, which I thought was the prettiest combination.
Yeah.
And you have the little snake things inside.
Oh, that's
on
what
either
that
side.
is.
Still hand smithed and not
Everything.
mass produced. Okay.
This
wow.
this essentially was created with the same process that a Japanese smith would use, just in China instead of Japan.
Okay, that's kind of what I've been looking for, is a cheaper version of that, but not the mass-produced garbage replicas.
This is it.
This
is it. I could hook you up with a link. But see, this company only sells like 8 a year too, and you got to snipe, man. When they say, "All right, we're taking orders," you got to be there, because in 2 days it's gone. I ordered this in March, almost a year ago.
Wow.
That's what you have to do, and then you just got to forget about it and be patient. So anyway, but it's not just when I say quality. Like, if you get a cheap one, like, things won't fit tightly. There'll be a gap here, or there'll be gaps here. You could hear it rattle a little bit. The wrap may not be tight enough. There's all kinds of ways that
Imitation
the quality
ray skin
could be subpar.
I've got one of those laying around here somewhere, one of the cheap ones.
I mean,
it could be cloth rather than silk.
Oh, do they send it to you sharpened, or is it up to you to sharpen it?
So this is pretty sharp. But it's not. It probably could be sharpened further. There are laws against shipping sharpened blades.
Yeah, I would think.
But so there's some cutoff to how sharp it could be. But it's got an edge to it. You could feel it. Like I could probably cut through a watermelon, let's say,
or a zombie neck.
You had to say.
Yeah, except no one would see it.
Here's the fuller.
Sorry.
Which, again, is a functional element. That's the best way to make the blade lighter without sacrificing strength. But I think it's a gorgeous design element.
Oh, yeah.
And then, do you
the
guys
blood
see?
was channeled.
It's not a blood groove. It is. It's for weight. You guys see the hamon line?
Yes. Yeah.
Wavy line.
So you can see this wavy line along the blade, which I think is gorgeous. Right? It's you can't really get a full image of it on the camera, but it is there's right there. I think
you see kind of the folds.
Oh, yeah,
there. Yeah.
Well, that's
no, so why is that there? Again, it's functional. So
the blade, the sharp, the edge, right? Is
yeah. So with steel is a crystal, right? So the bigger the grains, the stronger it is, but the softer it is. So for the edge, you need small grains, which are hard but brittle. So if the whole sword was hard, you have a brittle sword that could snap on you. If the whole sword was strong, you wouldn't be able to get hold an edge on the edge of the blade. So what they do is when they heat it, because it's all about the heat treat. You have to heat it up to a certain temperature and then cool it down rapidly to a certain temperature. So what they do is they put clay on the back of it, so that when they put the whole thing in the oven, the blade gets super hot to the right temperature. The rest of the sword doesn't heat up as much. And so you could shape the clay any way you want. This is a deliberate design choice to make this the edge. You could make it straight. Some have more of like a lightning pattern on it, So I like this pattern. And
is
then
that purely artistic, Steve, or is there also some benefit in terms of like durability or
to the pattern?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think that like the wavy pattern is just for aesthetics. But the fact that you have a sharp blade and a strong spine is functional, right?
Oh,
so
yeah,
this is a
absolutely.
completely functional sword. I mean, you could take this into battle if you wanted to, but all the elements that I think make it beautiful are also functional, right? Which is to me, that's part of the appeal. I don't like so-called wall hangers that, like, if you ever tried to even spar with them, it would be a disaster. Then they have, they do make katanas that are called beater swords, which cost maybe $200 to $300, that are strong enough to fight with, but you're not going to get the design elements. It's not going to be as beautiful artistically. They even put a different polish on it. Like you would not. This is polished for display, not for use.
I used to do kendo a long time ago, and we'd have bamboo is what we typically use for that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there use those.
I designed it in that I chose all the colors and elements and everything.
How much does it weigh?
Very cool.
It's very light. It's incredibly light.
Really? How's it balanced? I'm sure the balance is pretty sweet too.
I'm sure you guys seen the movie.
You have a new you have a new sword and Jay is missing. But.
You guys seen the movie Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? That is probably the fanciest sword that I bought. I think the replica is from the Noble Collection. It is a few $100s. Is purely for aesthetic value, but I found it for a while. I wanted to buy it now though, but yeah, it's very beautiful.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
So Stephen, you don't have a watermelon handy? So.
No, don't have one handy. Sometime. That'll be a future episode.
Watermelon's a summer fruit, so
use bananas as well.
Right.
Have someone toss him some oranges.
Right.
Game my kids play.
Different kind of vegetables.
I wanted you to hold the piece of paper up and do the the ginsu.
Yeah.
Thing.
Live action.
It's not a kitchen knife, right? It's not. It's not designed for that.
It depends on the kitchen.
You probably could do it. I haven't even tried it yet, but it's not the same as something you're gonna cut tomatoes with.
Right.
Steve,
But
do you remember
anyway.
when we were taking Kung Fu and
Oh yeah.
our teacher had the samurai and he sliced a watermelon in half on a guy's belly? It went, bah!
Yeah.
Wow. That was pretty.
That was a dull
cool.
sword. That was a dull
I'm
sword.
sure.
I hope so.
But I still wouldn't want to be laying down that watermelon.
Yeah. If you did that with an actual battle sharpened weapon, it would have just sliced right through him.
You know
That's
what?
like that YouTube video where the guy said, "With my chi power, I could make my skin hard," and he takes a machete and shows how his skin repels the machete, and then so they arranged for a live demonstration on the news, and I guess they forgot to tell the guy that you can't use a real sharpened machete, so he puts it on his arm and the thing goes right down to the bone, right down to the bone. And the guy just has he's in shock. He's literally in physical shock. And they just immediately escort him over to the waiting ambulance. A little bit of shock.
At least they have the ambulance there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
What this reminds me of, if you've heard of the pseudoscience, it's this old martial art tactic that was called the detecting the intention to kill. It's fake, but my friend totally believed in it, and they have these YouTube videos which are just like you guys explain. It's a magic show. They make someone look like they're detecting the guy behind him is about to hit him with the sword, and so he moves. And one of my friends totally bought into it for a while, but yeah, I think he's over it now. But yeah, that reminded me of that.
Oh, God.
I like those bullshito
filled with pseudoscience.
The bullshito, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, like the master just waves at them and they fall down.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can't tell some of those things if it's sort of a psychological effect or if they all are in on it.
It's it's a combination. It's like stage hypnosis.
Like hypnosis, where they're kind of willing participants and believers.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to feel awkward if you're the only one not doing it. I mean, you'd have to go up there with the intention of making everybody else, but
the people that don't believe, they just leave the dojo or whatever they call it.
Except when then those martial artists go to fight, like in prize or challenge competitions, and then they get destroyed.
Get their ass kicked.
Absolute every.
What's his name? Chi Jiao Bo or something? He's a Chinese MMA
Yeah,
practitioner, and
and he's been, he's caught a lot of flack from that community too. In other words, not from the Skepticals community, but from the martial arts industry, basically, who want to basically see him gone. They've like sued him. They've put out propaganda against him and stuff. They find him a real threat to their way of life, and because he's debunks their crap. Yeah, and they can't stand it, to the point where he has to really be careful about his own well-being.
Someone pointed out in the chat that it's like the mega churches where they do like slain in the spirit. You guys ever seen? Yeah,
it's the same thing. There's a Benny Hinn video where it's to one of those
fight Mortal Kombat
dance songs or whatever, and he waves his hand at the beat and everybody falls down.
I will find that.
Right.
Well, cool sword, very cool.
Thank you.
So we have a couple of videos that Jay sent in. That he requires us to watch. Apparently,
is this from his romantic getaway with his wife?
No.
Okay, making sure.
Although he's having getting a massage or something, so he's saying this as a potential.
Is that what it's called?
Option for easy.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
This Moxie question.
Little at-home DIY cupping. So,
it's like exorcism cupping or something.
So how do they really do it though? Do they put something first so that it doesn't have a fire on skin contact?
Yes. Fire goes on the outside.
Right.
Right, and it heats up the air, which then causes a vacuum, and it basically gives you a hickey.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Or you just have to be quicker than she was.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they were doing it correctly.
No.
Sort of a high-risk way to get a hickey, but sure.
Well, the reason for that, the thing is, this is the modern version of the original version of cupping, which is still being practiced in Iran, where you do that in order to bring the blood to the surface, and then you slice through the skin and bloodlet them. This is bloodletting. That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
But the modern spa version of it is you eliminate the bloodletting component, and you just do the hickey component and claim it's sucking out the toxins. It's just a rebranding of a freaking, Eastern version of bloodletting. That's all it is.
Yeah, there's a guy I play hockey with. He's into all this kind of, so he's constantly having the cupping marks on his back and stuff, and using the tape and stuff.
Yeah, the
I'm not going to
kinesio
argue
tape.
with a 190, 200-pound hockey player in. So.
No shortage of pseudoscience in sports.
Yeah,
that's for certain.
Yeah, we track that every Olympics. Like what's the new pseudoscience this year? Cupping made its appearance, 5 years ago.
Yeah, 12. I think the 12 Olympics.
Yeah, and then there's a little bit. The
tape, kinesio tape. Kinesio
tape was the one before that. That was like 12 years ago.
Yeah,
8 years ago. But there's always something because sports, competitors are incredibly superstitious, for one thing, and they're always looking for an edge, and they're marketed to because people know it's like you convince this person that it helps, and that's free. What better advertising is there?
Yeah. In this past year in Japan, there was the cryo chambers. So the athletes would go into, right?
The blood typing one. There's a lot of blood typing pseudoscience there.
Yep, a lot of that in Japan as well. But the cryotherapy, if that's what it's called, is very popular over there as well. And also there were commercials run during the Olympics for what the heck was it? It was either chiropractic. Was it the Chiropractor Association, the International Chiropractors?
I remember.
I think we're running commercials that during these Olympics, so they had sponsorship interest in that as well. I'm sure there was a lot of chiropractic going on all over the place there, hand in hand.
Is there another video, Ian?
Oh yeah, I found the video, by the way.
USA.
There we go. Clear full screen.
Round
Church
one.
edition. Oh boy.
Fight.
Classic.
Oh. Who can explain to those?
So true.
That's the same video, but with Street Fighter 2 instead of.
Oh my god!
Oh man,
It's
the
so
whole
good.
audience.
It's like 3 minutes of that.
What a power
my
trip
God.
he must be
So
on.
good.
I can't believe I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, that's like.
I mean, and the thing is, I mean, we don't know for sure, but I just with that guy, I suspect he knows it's all bullshit.
Oh,
Think how much
gosh,
contempt he must have for his
Yep.
audience.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
unbelievable.
pop-off level.
Disgusting.
right there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We have a couple other videos. So there's a storm, apparently a tornadic. What was it? Something in Texas. Some kind of crazy storm in Texas.
Wow.
So this is something Jay sent. Supercell
Supercell.
rotates.
Neat.
I'd love to see something like that in person.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Don't get any fancy
Yeah.
clouds like that out here. Pretty
You
boring.
get those in
Do
the.
those evolve into tornadoes?
Yeah, do they touch?
It says tornadic or tornadic.
Tornadic?
Tornadic storm
But-
supercell is what they're calling
There
it.
you go. So
I guess that-
yes.
tornadoes, I think, from a single supercell.
Yeah.
But we had a supercell when we were driving out west from Illinois out to Colorado, and it had, I think they're called roll clouds, and it was just like the edge of the fronts meeting. You see this dark sheet over the sky and this rolling like edge to it, just like you're entering Mordor or something. Is
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a lot of strange weather, but no tornadoes and stuff.
No
Yes.
tornadoes.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're not.
None here.
Not in
A
Norway.
lot of rain though, but
How
And
many
a little
hours
snow-
of
and a
light
little
are you
snow.
getting
A little bit
at
of
this
snow.
time of year?
sorry.
How many hours of daylight are you getting this time of year?
0.
No, it's not that far north, but yeah,
3,
Four.
4?
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
it's starting to get a little bit better.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I don't know how I could put up with that. Even in the winter here, when I just get 7 or 8, at least, I like those long summer days.
Yeah,
So
but
are
we
there-
get the extreme long summer days. So
So, is there anything in Norway or the Scandinavian countries in which they have either large places, warehouses, or whatever, in which they have are able to artificially generate sunlight or that right color temperature and stuff, and people go there just to kind of get vitamin D or whatever else?
that might be might be a business idea. We'll think about
Okay,
it.
but it doesn't exist. All right, so
No.
I'll take commissions on that idea if anyone develops it.
But is that fish oil a real thing, like Lysi or whatever you call it, where it's like a supplement that a lot of people take because of the lack of light?
Yeah, it's quite. Or just try to eat some fish at least once.
Just
twice
eat a lot
week.
of fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you don't like fish?
Yeah, then you're in trouble. But I'm not a fan of fish, but I use this kind of weird Norwegian mackerel in tomato sauce spread, which I put on bread. It's a weird, very Norwegian thing, I guess.
I mean, tomato sauce. I mean, okay, you got me there. I could probably choke down the fish with enough tomato sauce. Can you put Parmesan cheese on it?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, what?
Put it over pasta.
I thought cheese and fish is like one of the all-time no-nos.
That's a myth.
Why?
That's a myth.
I don't
I
know.
know that's a thing that people say. It's totally wrong. It's a myth.
Yeah,
Well,
I
Ian,
mean,
you are a resident pescatarian, so
Yeah.
I
No,
Fish
cheese
is
is awesome. And
here.
so is fish. Eat it.
okay. I just heard never.
Nothing in the Bible
cheese
that
and
says
fish.
no, right?
Well, maybe it's an old kosher thing or something, right? From
Well, that's like the
my Jewish
mother.
background.
Yeah, don't cook in the mother's milk or something like that, right? The same
Yeah, that's the meat and cheese thing.
meat
For
and cheese.
that, that's a kosher thing.
Yeah, I don't know about the fish.
But cheese is good with everything.
Cheese is good. I mean, I
Love
don't know.
cheese.
Cheese is one of the staples of my diet. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I used to get so much free cheese at the food lab. Like
Cheese.
all the stuff that you buy at your fancy grocery store. I probably shouldn't name any brands because brands are very secretive about who tests them. But just the nicer wedges and stuff, that are above $4 or $5, like 4 or 5 of them a week we would get to take home. And not everybody is interested. Some people's fridges are full. So like I always had all the cheese. That's what I actually miss that the most about that job.
What's your favorite cheese?
I found a lot of kinds that I never heard about before. There's Cave Aged Kaltbach, if I'm pronouncing it right. I never checked. There's Munster, of course, is classic. I like gruyere. If I'm, I don't know if that's the pronunciation.
So you like aromatic cheeses?
Gruyere. Yeah, the cave-aged Cowpack though, it has this like creamy chalkiness, which is very interesting, and it's like
creamy chalky, isn't that?
It's not too chalky, but it's like just right. It was just delicious. Doesn't go good with crackers. It just like by itself, it was great.
Yeah.
I remember.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I remember going to this Italian restaurant in Geneva, and I walked in, and I just saw this giant Parmesan cheese wheel that they scoop from every day. I'm like, found my place. No need to shop around.
That's a good sign. Let me ask you guys a question. What do you think is the #1 producer of green energy in the UK? What's the kind of energy?
Ooh. In the UK? Green energy?
Yeah. They have a lot of offshore in Scotland, don't they? Wave generated green energy. I don't know how much that counts.
So let me clarify. The biggest individual producer, like individual installation producing renewable energy.
Oh, one place.
One place, the individual installation producing renewable energy in the UK.
I'm sorry, you're asking us what's the industry or what's the place?
Well, just tell me what would you guess this? First of all, what kind of energy is it? If you can name the actual individual place, good for you. But what kind of energy would you say it is?
I would think nuclear.
Water. Something carrying big soul.
Listo Tutti said beans. Yeah.
I don't see anybody answers in the chat.
I'm at a loss.
Yeah, don't read the chat.
It's not hydro.
Just guess.
It's not nuclear.
I'm going to guess solar.
It's not wind. It's not tidal. It's not hydroelectric.
Geothermal?
Not solar.
Geothermal?
Not geothermal.
Renewable trees.
Whale oil.
Matter, antimatter annihilation?
Correct. It's trees. It's wood.
Aha.
It's a wood burning energy
it.
plant.
Okay, I was very close.
Green, right?
Settlers of Catan always get the wood.
Well, that's
right,
the question.
Ian.
So it's technically renewable, right? Because
renewable, but emits carbon.
You plant it.
Yeah, but it's emitting carbon that you
renewable.
sequestered in the first place. So as long as you have a cycle where you're planting trees and harvesting those trees, it's like it's a biofuel, right? It's like any biofuel.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's a converted coal plant. They converted it to burning wood pellets. They actually pulverize the wood pellets into powder, burn those, turn a turbine, make steam, etc. So it's a converted coal plant that burns wood pellets, but it's controversial. So it is 100% renewable, but the question is how green is it? Because that's kind of an arbitrary designation. Because while the growing and burning of the wood is renewable, like any biofuel, the wood comes from the U.S. So it's made in the U.S., shipped to the UK, transported overground to the power plant, ground up, pulverized on site, and then burned. So, you have to include all the carbon footprint of all of that process.
Carbon footprint of planting the trees, growing the trees, the water use, all of this.
And then the land use and water use as well. So it's a big controversy right now in the UK because there are people saying it's renewable, it's carbon neutral in terms of the burning of the fuel itself, and then other people are saying, but you got to look at the land use. But here's the thing. From a regulatory point of view, because the wood pellets come from the U.S., they count all of the growing carbon footprint. That's on the U.S., right? Because that's where it happens. The U.K., they get to claim that it's carbon neutral or close to it because they only count what happens in the U.K.
That's some shady accounting.
It's shady accounting.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing. So it's technically they're meeting their technical requirements for renewable energy, but they're basically, exporting their carbon footprint to where they're buying the wood pellets from.
It's kind of like us sending our recycling to China the previous decade, where it just goes in landfill.
We're good, because we don't have a garbage problem. Yeah, I know that. So this is sort of it's becoming the poster child for that kind of question where, can't do these sort of accounting tricks. Are they, do they work? Are they kosher? They technically are right now, but yeah, there are people who are arguing like that's, we got to change it. It's got to be, if we have to consider things like that globally, and you can't just take it off your ledger because you're outsourcing the carbon footprint.
Yeah, I mean, we are kind of arguing over using hydroelectric powered offshore oil installation, so we can claim that our oil and gas industry is the cleanest oil and gas industry in the world, and then we ship the oil and gas off to other countries where they burn them. So, I mean,
right,
it doesn't make a lot of sense, except
for, you're using renewable energy to harvest the fossil fuel, and then you sell the fossil fuel.
Yeah, and then there's other non-CO2 effects. So like hydro is kind of great, except there were beautiful valleys, I think in Yosemite or somewhere out there, that have been completely destroyed and altered by it. So not green perfectly. It may not produce carbon, but
yeah,
you have to weigh all those values.
Yeah, there's some concrete involved in building the dams and stuff. So
I just
try to get our energy from somewhere.
Ecosystems and filling valleys with a lake that wasn't there before.
There's no perfect option. There's no source of truly carbon zero energy, because you've got to build those solar panels. You got to build those, wind turbines. You got to mine those rare earths. Everyone has their dirty little secret. It's just a matter of relatively speaking, So it's definitely better to burn wood than coal, because burning coal is the single worst way to make energy. Right? And it's certainly better to better to build solar panels and wind turbines, but those are not totally neutral either. We have to look at the life cycle of everything.
Yeah, the problem is people, well, especially lobbyists and stuff, they're going to pick the one little thing they don't like and not look at the big picture to criticize the thing and say, hey, but we don't do this one thing.
Right.
It's so hard to get that holistic view of the full impact and life cycle.
And they weaponize that, like, in the U.S., on the right, they completely weaponize that process of, electric vehicles have a battery explosion problem. They suck. Let's not do electric vehicles. I mean, come on. I mean, you got to look at the big picture.
Right. After the first ship sank, those aren't going to work. Let's not use ships anymore.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, and it's not like petrol or diesel burn either. So.
Right. Anyway, but I thought that was. I didn't even know that there were wood burning energy plants, and this is like the biggest single source of energy, I think, in the UK. This wood burning plant, because again, it's a massive structure that is converted from coal. I think what did they say? It's in terms of how much energy it produces, 11 million homes worth of energy. 11% of the UK's renewable power, and but it gets 17 deliveries a day of wood pellets.
Wow.
To keep that thing running.
And they pulverize them to increase the surface area and burn more quickly.
Yeah, they got to burn very quickly. Yeah. Right. They're not toasting marshmallows. Yeah.
I want to talk about something more important.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you got? Zombies, Bob? What do you got?
So I made an order for dinner. All right.
Yeah.
I made an order for dinner because I'm going to be busy.
Grubhub kind of.
I'm going to be busy for the next hour and
Stand by for a rant. This is the rant.
This is got to be
here we go.
I guess. Right. So I said, pick it up. When do you want to pick it up? All right, I'll pick it up at 7 o'clock. We're done here at 6:30. I'll be there at 7. Pick it up, no problem. So I get a text a little while ago. Your pickup order with Lebanese grill is being prepared. Your order should be ready around 7. Awesome. 10 minutes ago, I get a text. Your grill order is ready to be picked up. So now, by the time I get it and bring it home, it's going to be 2 hours old.
Yeah.
So, fuck that.
Well, there's a mistake somewhere. So just that message could be a mistake.
Well,
or they made a mistake and made it.
I'm going to pull a J and leave. I'll be right back.
Wow.
Perfect timing.
That's you got to make a phone call.
Right out of Jay's.
Or have Jay go pick up your food and bring it to you.
I'll toggle off Bob for the time being.
What's happening?
What's happening?
And then there were 5.
So we do have some more stuff. We have a fun video from our friend Joe Rogan, or Joe.
Fun is good.
Whatever. Yeah. Not really fun. Let's see if we can bask in the
Joe Rogan health advice.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go.
For young boys in particular, there's an adverse risk associated with the vaccine. It's like a 2 to 4-fold increase in the instances of myocarditis.
Yes, but you know what?
Hospitalization.
You know that there's an increased risk of myocarditis among that age cohort from getting COVID as well, which exceeds the risk of myocarditis from the vaccine.
I don't think that's true. I don't think it's true. No. I don't think it's true that there's an increased risk of myocarditis from people catching COVID that are young versus increased risk of myocarditis from the vaccine.
No, there is. There's both.
Well, let's look that up because I don't think that's true.
There's
myocarditis. What do you think, Steve? Is there an increased risk?
It's definitely true that if you look at the cohort of young people with COVID versus young people who got vaccinated, the risk of myocarditis is higher with COVID than with the vaccine. What I don't know is if you also include the risk of getting COVID. Right, so if it's only the percent, if you look at the whole population, if it still holds out, but it doesn't matter anyway because the risk of myocarditis is teeny and it's self-limiting, mild, and no big deal, right? Whereas COVID, not so much.
Right.
So
this is when he's presented with evidence and then he, of course, accepts it immediately.
More common after COVID-19 infection than vaccination. But is this with children? Yeah, we're talking about young people.
Men and boys aged under 30 after this is what it says here.
With children is the issue.
Well, no, we were talking about 15-year-olds.
Well, we're talking about young children.
Male child. 12 to 17.
12 to 17, more likely to develop myocarditis within 3 months of catching COVID at a rate of 450 cases per million infection. This compares to 67 cases of myocarditis per million at the same time following their second dose of Pfizer.
Yeah, so you're about 8 times likelier to get myocarditis from getting COVID than from getting the vaccine.
That's interesting.
So what do you think his next point will be? If we can play skeptics.
Not natural, though, and the natural way will be better somehow.
The study is fake.
Something about like someone's doctoring the numbers.
Okay. Steve, what do you think? Oh, Bob's back.
Yeah, what rationalization would he pull out of his ass? That's the question.
Right. Chad, what do you think?
I haven't watched him enough lately to really know what he might say, but yeah, been kind of disappointed with him.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's follow up and see what he says.
Now that is not what I've read before, but also it's like even when we're reading these things, it's like, what are we getting this from? Was this from the VAERS report? But even from the VAERS reports, when they report this stuff, it's like the amount of people that report it's the underreporting.
He goes on to blame the study and such.
That's how he rolls.
Is he putting stock in the VAERS database?
Yeah, basically.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Just doesn't understand what it's for.
Right, at all.
Maybe we should clarify that, Steve. VAERS database.
The VAERS database is an unfiltered reporting database. So anybody can go on there saying, "I had a side effect from my vaccine." There's no filter. It's crap data. It's
everyone just throws their own opinions into the mix.
No, it's not just an opinion. It's more like I had my vaccine. Insert period of time, like yesterday or last week or last month, and now this happened. And which, of course,
so it's all anecdotal.
No cause
right. My point is, it's not coming from reliable sources. It's coming at like almost anecdotal.
Public.
It's self-reporting.
Make a report yourself right now.
Yeah. So I mean, it's used to see if there's any shift in pattern. It's like an early warning system. It's not used as a database of side effects. And you can't use it that way. But of course, the anti-vaxxers are always what we say dumpster diving in the VAERS database to try to find whatever they can. And it's just noise. You could pull whatever signal you want out of there. It's nonsense.
It's like jumping in the sewer and say, "Hey, I found shit." I mean,
So,
chat asked, "Is there a legitimate reason for it existing, or does it?"
As I said, it's first of all, it's part of the whole setup here, which is that you can't sue a pharmaceutical company for a side effect from a vaccine as long as they are following all the rules. Right, as long as they didn't do something hinky like lie or hide data or whatever. If they're up and up with the government and all their data is accurate, and you get a known side effect that you're taking the risk. If 1 in a million people are going to, something bad's going to happen. If you're that 1 in a million people, you can't sue the pharmaceutical company because everyone knows the risks and everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing. But in compensation for that, there is a fund where you just say, I had a side effect from a vaccine, and they just give you money, right? There's like, they don't have to prove causation. If you have I forget what there's a specific term for it. If you have something on the list, right? If you have one of the things, like within so much time of having a vaccine, you have one of these things happen to you, you get money. Like no questions asked. That's the trade-off. The government gives you money, but you can't sue the pharmaceutical company. And this is to indemnify the people who are making vaccines, because otherwise nobody would make vaccines. If you can imagine if anybody could sue you for anything, you are constantly, paying hundreds of millions of dollars to lawyers to defend against the constant, parade of lawsuits. It's just not a viable business model. Right. So part of that whole thing, I'm pretty sure it's all part of the same thing, is the VAERS, and we'll make a public database where anybody can report their side effects. And then you can use it for research, but you got to know what you're doing. You got to know what the value of the data is. You're basically looking for, for any significant sort of patterns or changes over time. But it's a way of generating hypotheses, not testing them.
Not to pick out noise that
you can't make any causality conclusions from it. You can only generate it's just like an early warning system, and then researchers can say, okay, let's see if that's actually happening or not. And
you can't get granular. You can't get granular with it because one report is meaningless. They're going for the big patterns. That's all that really matters. And but of course, people are just abusing it over and over and over. I'm just so tired of hearing about that. It's like, come on.
I imagine there's some also patterns that are just stable from. These are common things that happen to people, like all of these headaches as a side effect, right?
Right. There are people, when you've got millions of people getting vaccinated, there are some people that are going to get vaccinated, and within 48 hours, they're going to die because that's how it works. That's a law of large numbers. Crazy shit's going to happen when you're dealing with so many people. So you can't jump on, look at this person died, and that's what these anti-vaxxers do. They'll just jump on these little individual cases, and they're just unwilling to realize how ridiculous that is.
Yeah.
I have another video from Joe, just for this one quote that he says. So in this video, he's claiming that Tesla sells more cars than any other car manufacturer this year, apparently, which is
I think Tesla's
untrue. Toyota.
I mean, it's the biggest car manufacturer in the United States right now, right? Isn't it?
I don't know. I know it's worth more.
I think it's.
Oh, that's what's his name.
Manufacture more and sell more Teslas
I love that
than any
motherfucker.
other American brand.
So anyway,
that's true.
Jamie looks it up. Jamie is his lackey, and he says,
what's that?
Ford F-150s sell 900,000.
Ford F-150 was the top selling car.
Like millions.
Well, let's find out. Don't just guess. Don't just guess.
Here
but as a
comes the
company,
quote in a
I
little
think
bit. Let me skip to it. I just
not as a
quote,
company,
even though it's not specific. Oh, did I just freeze it? Of course, I broke it.
Car manufacturer. I'm pretty sure of that. Or I read an article that was a lie.
That could be happening.
Could be propaganda.
Well,
Do you have a
don't know
Tesla?
what the fuck I'm talking about.
I don't.
You ever
You
driven
could have
one?
seen it on a podcast.
I've been in one.
They're pretty spectacular.
They're next
Goddamn
level.
spaceship.
It's like a
Spaceship.
minute in.
For
Hold
the
on,
last
wait
3
for
years,
it.
they've averaged 900,000 per year for F-150s. I don't think they sell that many Teslas.
Well, why don't you Google it instead of thinking?
That quote. Why don't you Google it instead of thinking is like my favorite Joe Rogan quote ever. I just love that. It's like his brand.
I know what to get you for next Christmas.
Why don't you Google it instead of thinking? We're going to put that on a shirt.
That's a good shirt quote for him, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I like this comment from someone in the chat that said Joe Rogan's the Gwyneth Paltrow for men.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mr. Goop.
Okay. Yeah.
If
Evan,
not more powerful.
Yes.
You want to do your puzzle?
Sure, absolutely.
All right. Evan?
I will say there was a correct guess to this very, very, very difficult puzzle. All right, my guests today, Stephen and Adam and Bob and Shuttle. What's this? What do we see here?
4 numbers and a Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are those all the
about Pac-Man and that these are numbers? Yes.
That is supposed to be a Pac-Man.
That is supposed to be a Pac. I didn't have a yellow marker. Sorry about that.
Are they the Intel chipsets in the original Pac-Man game?
Ooh, that's very creative. No, they're not. And
the high scores on.
That would be a little challenging.
The same thing, Steve.
A little too challenging. High scores, no. Let's see. How can we do this? All right. So we got Pac-Man here. So what is that? What does Pac-Man do?
Eat ghosts.
Pac-Man eats ghosts.
4 ghosts. Goes around a maze.
There are 4 ghosts.
And there are 4 numbers.
Runs around a maze. Oh, these are all. Yes, sure. Okay. What else?
And eats little dots.
Eats dots.
With the dots, the power
ups.
Cherries too, doesn't he? And then he can eat the ghosts.
Who said cherries?
Me.
Adam?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Something to do with cherries?
Maybe. Yes. Cherries is the closest of all those guesses. Yes, Pac-Man eats all of those things. It's the power-ups, it's the little dots, it's the ghosts, and it is fruit.
Cherries, bananas.
So these are the international codes for some of the fruit that Pac-Man eats. You know, with those little stickers that we get on our apples and our grape packages and our oranges and our bananas.
The numbers you got to punch in to buy that when you're buying them individually.
So those are across. I thought they were unique to every grocery store. Okay, that's cool.
And the International Federation for Produce Standards, these are PLU codes, price lookup codes, and they are standardized. They are 4-digit codes for each type of fruit and subtype. And there's, as you can imagine, there's a lot of them. I think there's over 2,000 designations. Also, whenever you see a 5th number that appears before these 4 numbers, if it begins with the number 9, it is organic.
Number 9.
And if it begins with the number 8, it is considered GMO.
So look for 8. Okay.
So look for 8.
So buy 8s, no 9s.
Screw 9s.
Right. Exactly. See, we all learned a little something today.
Yeah.
Nosy Nick gets credit for having the correct answer, but I'm actually going to give credit to his wife. He said Nosy Nick's wife was the one who realized that 3001 was an apple. She happened to know that.
Yeah. Okay.
But Red Delicious specifically, or what?
It was a red apple. I did look that part up. I can't remember if it was
because gross
delicious variety. There's 8. There's 400 apple numbers. So
yeah. Speaking of which, Steve, what's your favorite apple? Go.
Oh, Honeycrisp.
Oh yeah.
Honeycrisp.
Okay, what's your second favorite apple?
Golden Crisp at my local orchard. There's a Golden Crisp apple that you do the pick your own fruit when you go to the tree, and I always eat one off the tree. It's the best apple experience I've ever had.
What would it take for you to only eat Red Delicious from now on?
Oh my God. I've never liked Red Delicious. Never.
Why did they make them? Like, what is I don't understand.
I think it's
the variety.
An old variety.
Great marketing, though. Whoever marketed those. Oh, Red Delicious.
A friend of ours hated apples growing up. Just hated apples.
Yeah.
And she lived in Florida.
You didn't have any friends.
Her only apple experience was eating mealy Red Delicious apples.
Oh no!
That were shipped to Florida.
No.
Yeah, she thought that was apple, right? That was her.
Wow.
Her only experience with apples was mealy, gross Red Delicious apples, and then she had a Honeycrisp and was like, "This is a different fruit. It's a completely different fruit."
Ambrosia from the gods.
It's Steve Martin eating the hamburger in Times Square. Hamburger.
I mean, when we were kids, and my memories of the apple orchard, I think there are 4 kinds. They're like Macintosh, Red Delicious, Golden Delicious, and Granny Smith, maybe.
That's it. And Granny Smith. Those were the 4 apples growing up. Red Delicious, Golden Delicious, Macintosh, and Granny Smith. Of those 4, my favorite was always the Granny Smith. Then Macintosh.
You like the Grannies.
And then the delicious ones were terrible.
Krabby.
Right, but Honeycrisp, and apparently I read a couple years ago about a Dragon Crisp apple.
Whoa!
That's a myth, total fantasy.
No. I mean,
No
but
dragon.
the thing is that they made it, but it takes years to get it out there into orchards. So I'm waiting for that to show up somewhere. It's supposed to be even more crispy than the Honeycrisp.
What does it cost? Like $8 an apple?
How can we get it, Steve?
I don't know.
Yes.
I
growing it.
There's a bunch of listeners out there. Someone's got to have access to these dragon apples.
Dragon Crisp.
Get us the Dragon Crisp. Please send it our way.
So I called the restaurant.
Yeah, let's get the update.
Ready to tear into somebody, and they're like, yes, we recognize the mistake was made, and we're going to make it again.
Yes.
And have it ready by 7. So
of
great
course,
answer.
The only correct.
Answer. Great answer.
Dragon apples.
Actually, I can't think of a better one.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'm just going to cross my fingers that they just didn't put it aside and then heat it up 10 minutes before I get
It's
there.
going in the fridge and then they're just going to microwave.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you come up there and you say.
I know. What are you going to do? At least they said the right thing. There's always that like when you're troubleshooting some kind of thing like that. And often you go in like there's one correct answer. Like there's only one correct answer, but you're waiting to see what they're going to say. Like what kind of bullshit they're going to try to pull on you.
Yeah, I mean, second place, a close second would have been, oh crap, I'm so sorry. We'll make it again and have it ready by 7. But the fact that they just discovered the problem and fixed it before I even called, perfect. That's perfection.
Right.
So, all right, we got a question from David Dennell. Have you guys seen the video of the guy who bailed out on his plane when the engine supposedly quit? Do you think it's genuine or a setup? So I saw this, so I have something to contribute about that. I'm going. So this is basically a video.
No spoilers.
Of a guy. He's flying like a very small plane, kind of like I don't think it was an ultralight, but a very small plane, and he's like, what?
Single prop engine. So
do we have the video to watch?
I can. Yeah, I'll get it. I don't have.
I think it's a high wing something.
I like the story Bob paints.
While Ian's getting it.
Yeah. Bob, paint the story and then we'll watch it. Not be the same.
One second, Bob. 1 second. Okay. Somebody in the chat said that the Dragon Crisp are called Snapdragons. What I remember is that the Dragon Crisp is a cross between the Snapdragon and a Honeycrisp. That's yeah. That's my memory, but that's like 2 years old. Anyway, go ahead, Bob.
I need it.
So in the video, basically the guy's jumping out of his plane. And he's like, my engine died, and he bails out, and he's got a parachute on, and they show he's got a selfie camera ready to go. So he's filming himself floating down, and then they cut to wing cameras so you could see the plane. So and that's it. Like so I guess it went viral. This guy's like a video blogger, now granted. My comments now are going to be from the comments from this Reddit topic. So take that with a grain of salt. And secondly, I found a couple of articles. So what a lot of people were saying that this was a total setup. It's total bullshit. This guy's a video blogger. He jumped way too early, way too early because that plane has an amazing glide ratio. So he could have glided for quite some time. And the protocol is to look for a place to land. Now, maybe he wasn't going to ever find one, but he had a decent enough altitude where he should have been gliding some more. He had a parachute on, which you generally would not have in that situation because he was like ready to go. He had his camera ready. I mean, your engine stops, you jump out of the plane and you've got your selfie camera ready to go. Very suspect.
And this plane did crash.
Oh yeah, it did crash.
And how is this legal? That can't be legal.
Totally
illegal. My gosh.
Yeah, this guy. This is definitely if what I'm saying is true, he's definitely breaking some federal aviation rules, and he could get in trouble. So what happened was he landed. He walked back. And then he rented a helicopter and picked up his debris. Debris. Incredibly suspicious. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I read. Who knows what's true? But it sounds like this guy was doing it just to get a viral video.
I'd investigate that.
I think the
FAA should be
investigating that. But that's what I know. For what it's worth.
Where did this happen? Was this in the U.S. or?
Oh yeah, he's a U.S.
Yeah, it was in the U.S. I think he was over.
Let me see. I have the video.
The Rockies or something. He was over some.
Yeah, it was on the west
pretty
coast
mountainous.
somewhere. This is the guy.
Deliberately crashing a plane.
So I just muted it just so we could talk over it.
But
that's actually
you sacrifice a plane for a viral video?
Yeah, because I think he did it for a sponsorship. Because he has like some. So here it is. You know, obviously GoPros all along the plane. This is it actually crashing.
Oh, whoa! I didn't see that.
And he dives out immediately. So yeah, some of the pilots, who are watching this were like, nobody flies with a parachute on.
Screw that.
Nobody does that.
That's not how it works. And also, there's no video of him trying to like fix the stall or anything.
Right.
Oh,
Yep.
he crashed.
That didn't happen.
Yeah.
It seems pretty obvious that this was a total stunt. I read that he bought the helicopter. It was relatively cheap because it was in such bad shape. He tried to do some repairs, but that's not what he does. He's not a skilled mechanic. And I mean, everything that I've seen points to the fact that this was a guy trying to make a really popular video.
That should be prosecuted right there.
Yeah, he very well might be, because that's pretty...
Chances are he crashed it on federal lands, and there's probably a federal law against it.
Yeah. So I mean, FAA is going to be up on this as well.
This is him with his selfie stick. Oh, I don't think they show it. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, there it is. Right?
He got the selfie stick out.
He has the presence of mind to get his selfie stick ready.
Well, I mean, everything's content.
Ridiculous.
I actually just started reading for my private license. So.
Can you imagine if that started the next wildfire or something?
Oh, gee.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Just. Or some dopey copycat's going to try to do it.
Wait, was that a Ridge wallet? Is that what he was doing it for?
An RFID.
Reminds me of the guy that blew up the Tesla with dynamite.
It is. It's a Ridge. I think he did it. That was the sponsor, Ridge wallet.
And it's sponsored. Oh, come on.
They should
go after that company too.
Oh no, that's fake.
Such a big risk.
Forget that.
Yes, I wonder if he found DB.
Yeah, did he find DB Cooper?
It was in the back of the plane.
The DB Cooper story is a cool story.
Stephen, are those aren't those? Is
I
that
thought
your
Loki
digital
was
background?
That's Steven's actual background. Steven, you moved, right?
I love those chairs. I've become obsessed with awesome chairs because I got a new house and I'm trying to put stuff in my library that looks awesome. And those chairs.
Bob wants one with skulls carved in the wood.
Of course.
I mean, that would be nice, but what I'm really looking for is a Gothic wingback chair that I'll probably never get because the ones that I've seen are like crazy expensive. $700.
Just go for the Iron Throne meltdown.
I'll tell you what,
$1,000 swords.
Spend $1,100 on that chair because you will use that chair infinitely more than Steve's going to use that sword.
You think
guarantee it. I guarantee it.
I don't think $1,100 would be enough, but these kind of chairs, I'm looking at Facebook Marketplace and I see a chair that's beautiful and I'm like, oh, awesome. And then it says $200. $200? No way. And then I read the fine print. It's like
it's this big.
Each hour to rent it. And it's $250 an hour to rent it.
Ian, what do you count as using my sword? Does fondling it and admiring it count as using it? Is it in the background of my video feed? Does that count as using it?
Using it.
I mean, it's aesthetic, so yeah, I think
it is aesthetic. I won't sit on it. No, I won't sit on it. All right, Ian, should we do the quiz?
Yeah, the quiz. So we got the quiz from last week.
Last week's quiz this
week,
week.
but it's working now. And
I wanted a piece of furniture that looked like it was out of Game of Thrones. Saw this on Craigslist.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Steven is having some internet issues, so everybody. Yeah, it's a little glitchy, Steven, just in case you can't hear us fully. But here is the quiz link, everybody. I mean, it is pretty cool.
Why do I have to enter my email and password every time?
That's why I moved out here.
Maybe
I moved
join with your phone.
Closer to my router.
We need a who's in charge of this website? Frank someone?
Frankie?
I still don't think that's the right name.
Frankie.
Like pseudonym. We need is for the login a remember my name and password.
Oh yeah.
That needs to happen.
I think he's
tired of putting this in every week.
It's usually pretty late when we actually start streaming. All right, so we got some people coming in. 115. All right, keep it coming. Come on. Why is
Ian,
it
I sent
asking
you a
for my credit
picture
card
of
details?
that,
It is supposed to be.
that chair.
Okay. Let me see if I can
Entertain
pull that up
you.
real quick.
If we got a minute.
Someone asked if I'll cosplay with this sword. Most locations that allow
Frown
you,
against.
Yeah, they frown against
real
actually
swords.
having actual steel blades.
Yeah,
Some
my
will let you
college
do it
frowned on that.
if you piece tie it. Like you have to tie the sword into its scabbard. But most just say no real swords.
Yeah.
I had one at I brought to college, a couple of them, and this was in the 90s, and I had pictures of me on the roof of the dorm with and everything. I think the dorm area was a little lax back then with some policy.
Yeah.
Okay. Bob sent me an image of this chair that he wants, which is pretty gothic looking. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Hold on, stand by. Here it is. Bada bing, bada boom. It's loading. Meanwhile, everybody, go to darkenergy.games if you haven't already. For everybody in the chat on the live stream.
Here we go.
Starlink net right now with all these streams.
Oh yeah, Steven's hitting the
That looks like a
max
chair
cap.
from Morpheus.
Throttled. Oh yeah, it is very
Morpheus.
Matrixy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Matrixy.
I'm going to own
Or
something
the Addams
like
family would have that chair.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to
All
If
right.
anybody
marry
sees
Wednesday.
one,
Bob.
please contact me. What, Steve?
You just have to marry Wednesday. Wednesday.
Okay.
Addams.
Worth it.
Wednesday's move in.
Wednesday's
Tell Liz
awesome.
that.
I got to talk to Liz first, but you know.
But Liz, look, this chair. I mean, look, the chair.
All
Only
right,
human.
so let's synchronize. Here we go. When I say click, we're going to click that synchronize button. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, click. I heard somebody click early, Bob.
That was me, but I finally got 0 seconds. That's what it takes, I guess.
Part of the click.
I got my first 0.
Yeah, very good.
Is hear me or am I?
Congratulations. It's laggy.
Yeah, a little laggy.
I think we're more in time now, but it is kind of laggy. Did you try joining with your phone? Try joining with your phone, Steven, and we'll bring you back in. Maybe, I don't know if that's better. I don't know why that would be, but it might reduce how much down.
Here comes our weekly numerology exercise.
Oh, that's
10,
right. Here we are.
8, 13,
If it says too far
6.
behind, just play along with what's happening on the darkenergy.games screen rather than the stream.
I was trying to send, but yeah, all these streams going on is
it's killing.
slowing my phone down so much.
Do you wish you were not kind of living out in the mountains right about now?
Yeah. I think he's like way delayed, by the way, like 30 seconds or something.
I'm not able to load it right now. The Starlink internet it's been really good mostly. I have never done this much streaming.
Yeah.
But it does switch satellites like every few minutes.
It's pretty good. It was pretty good right there. All right, let's try it out.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to play the game. So you might be a little delayed, just so you know. When
I got that sense.
versa.
Yeah, next is going to be telling us what he thinks about Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he'll be like, I like this Joe Rogan video. All right, I'm actually just going to mute Steven for just a moment.
That plane video is fake.
Yeah, right. All right, everybody synchronized, and away we go. How many continents have a city called Rome? All 7, if you believe there's 7 continents. 6, 3, or 2. Unmuted Steven, so you could discuss if you guys want to, if you have.
Well, it's at least 2, but
I know there's
more than 7.
I know. I personally know of 2.
Does anybody know? Yeah, specific locations of
Rome, Ohio.
Rome, Ohio. Is there one? Probably.
I think that's
Is
where
there Rome, Georgia?
There's a Rome, New York, I thought.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Where the Air Force Base.
It's one of those
And I'm
cities.
pretty sure there's a Rome, Italy, but don't quote me on that.
There's a Paris, Illinois, a few miles from here.
So apparently the answer is Antarctica, which is an accented A for some reason, I think. Or is that just dust on my screen? No, is the sole exception. Here's a quick list. Rome in each continent: South America, Roma, Peru; Roma, USA; Roma, Italy; Roma, Lesotho in Africa; Roma, Australia; and Constantinople was named New Rome, and the city currently has a European side and an Asian side.
Rome gets around.
So what was the right answer? 6?
6.
Yeah. I was
Antarctica doesn't have a Rome.
That's what I picked. It told me I got the wrong one.
Did it?
I picked 6 and said correct.
I picked 3 and it got incorrect.
Which nuts are used to make marzipan? Chestnuts, macadamia nuts, walnuts, almonds, D's.
We'll just assume we were talking about culinary nuts here and not botanical nuts.
Oh, I hate marzipan. Damn, but this is not the right time.
What? You really hate marzipan?
I don't know if I've ever had it.
God, I love marzipan.
Oh, you'd know. You'd be disgusted if you.
Oh no,
it's very sweet. It's all right in the right context.
You not like marzipan either, Chateau?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure there's like the Nordic stuff is a lot of marzipan, right?
Yeah, especially around Christmas.
In Europe, it's considered a delicacy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, around Christmas, it's like marzipan pigs.
Icing want to be kind of like thing. The technique.
Did you get
the answer? Oh, sorry, it's almonds.
It's like what fruit roll-ups are to fruit.
Said 1 pound of almonds, and it's that a recipe. The answer was almonds. Most everybody knows that, right? What is a female donkey called? A jenny, an ass, a fowl, or a burra?
Foal, I think that's foal.
Foal? Oh, yeah, foal. Sorry, not fowl. Like a
faux owl.
I think it's a burrita.
Yeah.
Oh, that's burrita. That's a food item.
Hearing some crazy wind outside.
Mm-hmm. It's supposed to get freezing this weekend. For
tomorrow, man. Tomorrow's going to be like
cryotherapy
3 degrees.
Just go out.
Ooh, yeah, exercise and then run outside.
No idea. I have not heard that one.
So yeah, a jenny is a female donkey. Although I would have taken she-ha. No.
Wow. How do you spell that?
I apologize.
Jenny.
No,
I had to mute my mic for a sec.
No problem. A wonky, somebody said.
A wonky.
I was going to say that there are no female donkeys. They're dragons they mate with.
Dragon. You're right. That's a good point.
Seen Shrek.
Yeah.
Donkey.
Donkey. All right. Which 2 countries share the longest international border? Kazakhstan and Russia, Argentina and Chile, Canada and the United States, and China and Mongolia.
Oh, that is interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, that's tricky.
Muy interesante.
United States wider than Chile is long.
I pity the fall.
Damn, man.
How many questions are there?
Had a fractal.
There's one more after this.
Okay.
That'd be fun just to find the border by a fractal, so it's infinite.
Really?
Here's the answer in kilometers.
That's
Canada, U.S.
topic.
is 8,893.
It's the Great Lakes that do it, I'm sure. Yeah.
Kazakhstan and Russia is 7,644. Argentina and Chile is 6,691. China and Mongolia is 4,630 kilometers.
Yes, but what is the fractal dimension of their borders? They're relevant. Doesn't matter.
Good.
Oh, this is where I comment. I actually driven that border.
Really?
I drove from Seattle to New York once.
Wow. It's pretty epic.
Nice.
Ooh, I never heard of this one before.
All right. What are a group of hippos referred to as, whatever. A barrel, a bulk, a bloat, or a bath?
I have no idea, but I'm gonna pick a bloat because it's just too awesome.
So who determines these, and can I find the next group name for animals?
The International Federation for Animal Name.
Are they the same the emojis to prove those?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, the IFAN.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Yes. And the answer is a bloat.
That's great. I
below
love it. That's a top 5 group name for animals.
In
right
case
there.
I didn't say, the previous answer was U.S. and Canada border, but I
Oh,
read
yeah.
out the numbers. But,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll let this
I
expire.
got 100%. That's the first time I could
Really?
do
That.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. All right, here it goes. Let me stop the game just any moment.
I just happened to know. Wait, why is it saying 80%? I got them all correct. That's bullshit.
Yeah, welcome to my life.
I was foiled.
I like these stories, Steve.
Oh, I got them all correct.
Did it say? Yeah. Was the first one wrong? Was the first one set wrong? Y'all?
Maybe.
It was set as all 7,
Rome?
but it should have been 6.
I put 6, and it looked like I got the right answer, but
right.
apparently I
I'm
didn't
pretty sure
get
it
credit
said
for
that.
it.
We'll blame. Yeah. So the correct answer. Oh yeah, you can look at the bottom if you scroll down. Of course, the correct answer was 6 for the first one. How many continents? Which nuts are used to make marzipan? Almonds. Which what is a female donkey called? A jenny. Which 2 countries share the longest international border? Canada, U.S. What are a group of hippos referred to as a bloat? So that's weird. 3, 4.
Hippopotamus.
Well, we'll ask Frank to maybe look at yours because maybe it's counting wrong.
A hippopotamus can crush a watermelon in its mouth.
It sure can.
Yeah, that was a glitch because I put 6 down.
You put all those. Yeah.
Yes, we believe you, Steve.
We believe you.
All right.
It's
Just
we'll have to check.
Yeah.
No, we'll tell Frank. Look it up.
There's a special
Quality
if
control.
Steve.
All right, I have a hard out at 6:25 because I got food being delivered.
Very
so let's do
Hard
some
out.
questions.
Gotcha.
Do some
Hard
questions. Bob, do you have a question for Steve? I didn't pull up Discord. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up Discord real quick.
No, I'm looking
Everybody
at Terminator.
I'm sorry.
Terminator robot.
Here we go. Hopefully the mods put some pinned questions. Question for Steve from Nosy Nick. Your article on neurofeedback at thenest.com/neurological whatever is nearly 15 years old. What's the latest consensus on efficacy of neurofeedback versus placebo, especially as a potential treatment for autism or ADHD? It says what we need are double-blinded controlled trials. That's apparently a quote that you wrote. Have none been done in the last 10 to 15 years?
I mean, for those specific indications, I'd have to, update myself before I speak about it. So maybe I could talk about it either on the show or next week, or I'll just update that article if it's really been that long. I mean, when he was asking, when you were reading the question, I was thinking, effective for what? That's always the question. You can't just say it works or it doesn't work without saying specifically to about what exactly you're studying. Autism, I would be very suspicious of that. ADHD, I don't think it's doing anything more than cognitive behavioral therapy would do. That would be my guess. I'd be very surprised if there's like a quality study that shows that there's some specific efficacy beyond what you would get from just therapy or something non-specific. But I'll have to look into it and see what the latest is.
Kids with autism, it's amazing how much BS try to push.
It's a brain thing. It's like it's a hardwiring thing. It's not something you can fix with something simple like feedback.
Right.
Is this the one with the eye movement thing too, or is that something different, Steve?
That's different. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, EMDR that's complete nonsense.
Okay.
It's basically a method of distraction that you can incorporate into CBT, into cognitive behavioral therapy, and that's all it is. But there are true believers who say, "Oh, things are happening in the brain," that then they just spew this neuro gobbledygook that makes no sense whatsoever. It's neuro pseudoscience, but it's
neurobolics, as Wiseman calls it.
Yeah. No different than just doing the CBT.
Here's a question from the Facebook chat that I just saw from Galen, maybe. Curious what you think about alternative keyword layouts. Well, the question was still out there about them. Do you have any insight?
You mean like Dvorak? That's the one I know about.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
Where the keys are in different position.
Versus, I guess, QWERTY.
Yeah, it's too late. This is my personal opinion. I mean, I think objectively, it's better if you calculate the letter use and putting them in your dominant fingers and avoiding using the same hand twice in a row. Like you can, absolutely statistically tweak the keyboard, but it's a cultural inertia thing at this point. And
there's
I've been
I don't
typing
know how
for,
I would ever get off of a QWERTY.
I know I've been typing literally for 50 years.
You could get the left-handed or right-handed Dvorak. They have special layouts for one hand.
Yeah.
That
but the thing is, let's say I spent months learning how to type on that keyboard. You know, then what? You know,
You're right.
What if every computer I use has to be able to accommodate that? I know you know it'd just be a pain in the ass. For what benefit? Like how much faster? 'Cause I'm not like in races of speed typing. I type exactly as fast as I need to. You know.
Got to get the thought keyboard down, right? You know, we
Yeah.
got to get off of these keyboards and just start
Yeah.
thinking the words. They appear on the screen. Then you do a little.
Yeah, somebody saying it's 100% muscle memory now. It's like so ingrained. I'm not going to casually toss aside 50 years of muscle memory. It's not going to happen.
So do you think also that the keyboards are influencing language based on their layout?
Influencing language? How?
Or like at least how we spell words, how we like abbreviate words. Maybe it's only social media, but
I don't know. You mean like keyboards, like when you're
I just have my own
texting on your phone?
Yeah, like because there's that classic like SK when you're like laughing, which is like a new iteration of that.
Yeah.
Are we like dropping letters because it's too painful to type it out normally?
Yeah, I haven't looked at any data on that, but it's sounds plausible. That's a kind of a new language, right? And that's technology based. It makes sense it would adapt to the technology, right?
We should all become stenographers. Learn the
I
stenography.
mean, pre-iPhone, you had to text, and it was so painful with just using the digit keys. I think a lot of shortcut language came around that, just like they did with the type.
Okay, question for Bob. So how is the new house? Have you been able to set up your layer properly?
The house is great, thanks. No, the layer, I've been working on the library, which is pretty much set. But now the layer is going to be a big project because right now it's just framed and there's no insulation. It's freezing, and I've got to change the knee walls that are there. I did that. Yeah, it's going to take me a while. I figure it's going to probably be a few months. But I got to hire a carpenter to change the knee wall, so I've got some storage in the knee wall space behind it. And then once that's decided, then I'll hire a carpenter and have him do the carpentry. Then I'll probably do the installation myself. And I really don't want to pay for the drywall because that's going to be expensive. So I'm trying to think of alternatives. I'd love to get like some like wall templates, things that you could like thin plastic that looks like stone. That would be fantastic, but still probably not cheap. Still not easy to find. But I'm trying to get creative with the, alternatives to drywall.
What's a knee wall?
It's if you imagine a classic attic space, the roof goes down here, and then typically at this point you're going to have a small framed out wall. But essentially, a knee wall is any space, typically in an attic, where that separates living space, and on the other side of that wall is attic space that's just dead and cold and not part of your living space. That's essentially what a knee wall is. It doesn't have to be short. It could be an 8-foot wall, as long as on the other side it's like just unfinished attic space. So yeah, I'm going to take a little time with this because this is going to be like my lair. It's going to be my epic room. So
all right, last question.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah, as a patient, when and how should I determine that I should get a second opinion?
I would get a second opinion if you're being recommended to get any like big procedure done. Like if you're saying, do you need to get this surgical operation? Obviously, if it's not like emergent. If you don't feel comfortable with significant aspect of your relationship or with your physician, if things are just not working, like you just feel like you're not making progress, or if your doctor starts spewing alternative medicine nonsense, I would probably just shift physicians at that point. So I wouldn't, I have a pretty low threshold for like recommending second opinions for my own patients. Even it's a great idea if everyone's experiences and expertise is a little bit different, and fresh eyes on a problem is I'm always welcome for that. You shouldn't be resistant to the idea of getting a second opinion, or don't feel like your physician's going to be insulted by it. Because typically the people who would go for a second opinion are kind of challenging anyway for whatever reason. So it's like, yeah, please go get a second opinion. Absolutely. Like, why would we have any problem with that? So
when you say challenging, do you mean the individual or their condition that they're
yes.
They're ailment?
Did you
in any way? They're typically not low maintenance patients where things are going really well, right? They're just by definition they're more high maintenance. And if they feel more comfortable, I feel more comfortable, or whatever. If either they'll reinforce what I'm doing, or they'll have some new idea. Either way, it's a win-win. Like, you know what I mean? So it's fine. I would have a pretty low threshold for doing it.
All right, Steve, you got a hard out.
Yep, I got to go.
6:26.
All right, thanks everybody.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bill,
Adam.
Thanks as always, Ian.
Steven.
Thanks to the audience. Bye, everyone.
Thank you all.
And until next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Ian.
It's great to see you.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks, Ian.
Thank you, Ian.
Skeptics Guide to the Universe is produced by SGU Productions, dedicated to promoting science and critical thinking. For more information, visit us at theskepticsguide.org. Send your questions to info@theskepticsguide.org. And if you would like to support the show and all the work that we do, go to patreon.com/skepticsguide and consider becoming a patron and becoming part of the SGU community. Our listeners and supporters are what make SGU possible.
Oh boy.
Hello.
The super fans, they know.
Am I still
Everybody
delayed, or
knows.
am I back live with you guys?
You're back.
Oh,
Okay.
this
You're
is live.
You're
Maybe it was
It's live.
the power cord that slowed the CPU or something.
Oh yeah.
There's a picture of a throne on my screen. Like, is that something you guys put up a bit ago, or is that? Still
Oh yeah.
supposed to be-
You might have to refresh if it might have gotten stuck.
Okay.
It
Do I
might
just
kick you out.
refresh the
Are you
page?
saying you got stuck on the
refresh
throne?
page.
Is that what
we'll
you're
lose
saying?
You. We'll lose you. But welcome to the after show, everybody.
The post-extreme show.
Post extreme. Is that what we were calling it now?
Yeah, yes,
It
in
actually
fact.
literally says
It's
behind
not
you.
really bothering me now. It was just covering
There we
Steve
go.
and someone else a bit ago.
I'll supersize you.
Thank you. Yes, and I zoomed in on it
There
as
you
well. Welcome to the post-extreme show. Notice
right.
the spelling of extreme. Haha.
Only those in the watermelon know. The watermelon
Normally,
club.
yeah, that's true. Normally Jay would be here, but he decided to go be romantic with his wife
Oh,
instead
gross.
of spending the extra 3 minutes.
It's a priority.
He did send us. He did send us this video to watch, which I saved. So this is special
okay.
content, everybody. So here we go. Let's see if this works.
Uh-oh. Look at that.
I don't know how glitchy it is because it looks like it was kind of like 1 frame a second for me.
So
But
is he on those
Well, let me try
roller
to-
sneaker
that
things? You know,
Jay?
or is it?
yeah, it's Jay. Here's Jay.
No, that's not Jay.
It's not Jay. So yeah, how did he do it? How did he do that thing?
They have those
My-
sneakers with wheels in them and stuff.
I don't
see kids
know.
rolling around.
He's sideways. I don't know. I think it's a reversed image, and the people walking are just walking backwards, so that it looks like they're walking forward. Because you can actually see the people in the far distance at the beginning. See how they're walking? Not them,
It's
but
just
the
so low frame
person in
rate.
white. Anyway, well, it's just people say it's icy. Yeah, but he started off.
It's icy, but those people
Moving.
walking would not be walking that way on that ice. I wouldn't think.
Yeah, no.
You know, the normal walkers. So
Who would they have
something-
traction to get up to speed if it was that slippery? It would just
Right.
kind of-
He had no. Yeah.
As they say in England, there's fuckery afoot.
Oh.
I can say that because it's the post-extreme show. When we get extreme.
I was going to say it looked like it was in Bath, actually, where he was.
Oh. No, he was outside.
Haha.
That's
That's
us to think that.
Evan, come on.
Yeah.
Take over, please. Do something better.
But yeah, so before I started getting delayed a bunch when he was asking about the throne, this is the Lord Thomas Raffles of Singapore throne design. And after I got this, I started seeing it in everything, TV shows, movies. It's even a model in a couple games. It's like the go-to Hollywood doll.
That's an actual.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, this is a hand-carved mahogany throne from Indonesia.
Oh,
that's
cool.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Did you have to dethrone someone to get it?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I had to go raid a castle, and it was a whole thing.
Head on the pike, the whole
Very cool.
pageantry
behind
it.
The pike is still outside, right there.
That keeps them from coming and taking it back.
Right.
Well, that's right. I mean, isn't that the point?
I've got my own. I've seceded, and I'm on my own little, state of Stephen here.
Oh, you're a kingdom. You're a fiefdom.
Right.
You're your own.
No, I just
country.
Found it on Craigslist for 900, talked me down to 500, and you can't find this model like anymore anywhere. So I'm gonna hang on to it forever. It'll be like a family heirloom.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Create a little fake backstory to it, make them think it's already 200 years old.
Very cool. All right, so what are we doing here? Anything? What other final thoughts do we sort of have to get out of our system tonight?
Final thoughts about 2021.
Well, I wasn't even thinking
just
that.
a big
Just
sigh.
about the day, the moment. Any lingering thoughts? Should we read a couple things that people are putting in the chat here?
Tell us something. Tell us something interesting out in the meme world.
Come on, chat us, and we'll give you some feedback on it. Ask us anything.
I'm happy to be here and hang out with you guys.
Yeah, it's been super cool. I've been trying to sort of show off the books, just.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, look at that! Right.
Hopefully, every meeting you put the books right there.
Yeah. Oh, this is my gaming room, so my office is upstairs. But I will have to comment on the picture here. The painting is actually made by my wife. So.
Oh, very cool. Very nice.
All right, Shettle, we have a question here. The skeptical movement in Norway. Go ahead, sum it up in about 30 seconds if you can.
That's me. No.
There you go.
There you are.
No, it's actually quite active, and we have a couple of general practitioner doctors that's been very active on Twitter this COVID period and just slashing down, COVID conspiracies and vaccine skepticism and all that stuff. So it's been good to see. We have a couple of pretty good people that's out there and really doing the hard work. I'm just a guy on Twitter with 5 followers or something. So.
Are there any uniquely Scandinavian or Norwegian sort of skeptical topics that you wouldn't see other places?
I don't think so. Well, maybe. No, I don't think so.
How about that reindeer blood therapy?
Sure.
Reindeer blood.
That's a thing.
Yeah,
they'll chop the horn. They'll chop the horns off of a reindeer, drain the blood, and then they bathe in it, thinking that gives them healing.
That's how they stay so young
powers and stuff.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Powers
it's crazy. Barbaric too.
Oh,
I mean, if you go into this kind of native kind of population, you will find old, strange beliefs, I guess. So.
Yeah, except Vladimir Putin does it. So he, well, again, it's that appeal to antiquity or
or friendly neighbor,
nature, and so many things, right? And then just some celebrity or politician or former head of the KGB decides to do it, and everyone therefore knows about it.
Yeah,
he's a real treat, that guy.
Someone in the chat was asking me what my Discord name is. I'm Earthen in the server.
That's right.
Yeah.
Earthen. And as I mentioned before we went live today, that's not the same thing as earthing. That is a totally different thing.
Is there something called earthing?
There is some. Yeah, there's a pseudoscience called earthing.
Oh no.
Wait, Stephen just changed his name from Earthen to Johnny.
Now I know.
No, Rolfing too. I was thinking earlier.
Rolfing, yeah.
Oh,
cupping! I had never.
Tissue
using that. I had never heard of that cupping. I thought that was interesting. Like, oh, it actually works. It actually creates enough suction to give a hickey. That's interesting. Unlike candling, which doesn't work at all.
Oh yeah.
Is channeling still like going on pretty big, or has it died down? I haven't really heard anything about that.
I think people still do it where they stick the beeswax in the ear and like try to suck
Oh,
out
yeah.
whatever.
That was the first time that I realized that I have to watch out what my mother starts believing in. I made her realize that ear channeling is fake. That one's pretty easy. The one that was a little bit harder was when she, you guys might remember I mentioned this in the Discord, she bought, well, not even real, fake black salve from this guy named Two Feathers. His website is still active. Behind the Bastards did an episode on him. And
oh my gosh.
so, you know, with the help of you guys and everything I've learned from the podcast, I was able to talk her through it, and she called the guy up herself and got a refund in order and sent it back and got the real surgery.
Very good.
She had a little melanoma on her back, and she got it taken care of the right way.
Ooh, thank goodness, right? That could have
Thank
gone
goodness.
horribly wrong. Horribly wrong.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have the fake than the real black salve.
I mean, the fake.
Maybe it wouldn't work.
The anecdotes that she was given by, so she gets a lot of misinformation from some customers at her job. She works at a grocery store, check stand, and I just noticed that's where a lot of stuff comes in that I have to, you know, talk to her about sometimes. So that was one of her customers said that it created some peeling skin, so it might be some kind of like acid that just does a little burning or something.
It's supposed to be caustic. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So the real stuff is, of course, outlawed. You know, it's illegal here. And if that guy was selling it, I would definitely try and get him shut down. But that anecdote sounded like it's just she's not going to get the right treatment in the end.
I have a family member. I'm pretty sure they still have black salve in their cupboard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sneak in one day and make it disappear.
Yeah, that's like that was an emergency to me, like the biggest emergency that ever happened to my family. So I just drove right up there and I was like, look, I got to teach you about this before you do this.
Just replace it with black paint. So.
I didn't actually see the product myself. I don't know what it looked like.
All right, then. Hey, guys, I want to thank you again for joining us and for all the work and contribution and support you've given us over the years. And this is nice. What a nice opportunity for some face-to-face time and chatting and getting your input on stuff. So thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Evan.
I say that on behalf of everyone. Believe me,
That's
Steve
right.
and Bob and Kara and the other guy who didn't show up today.
Yeah.
So, Ian, and of course, thank you for all you do.
Oh yes,
much appreciated. It is time for Ian to go be with his family. It is time for me to go be with my family.
Go watch some TV, everybody.
Well. But we will be back next week.
That's right.
Thanks, guys. This has been the Post Extreme Show. Don't forget Post Extreme.
Yes.
Don't tell anybody.
So extreme.
Cool.
Yeah, it's our secret.
I like the spelling too of extreme.
Yeah, don't talk about the Post Extreme Show.
All right. See you next
rule
week.
Of the Post Extreme Show.
All right. Bye.
Adios.
Bye bye.
Signing out.
Adam. Bye bye. Steven. Bye bye. Wait, did I click
Ian,
on them?
thank
Yeah,
you.
I did. There it is. Oh, I
Bye-bye.
brought Adam back, and now goodbye, Evan. Oh, bye bye me.